Hey guys, it's me Nes, and I'm going to react to another Cultaholic Wrestling video, which is the 10 great WWE matches won by terrible finishes. So it is one of those things that they built up a good match, but it ended up with something that is like, it's kind of bit like ended in a wrong terms or wrong way by the creative decision or by Vince himself. And this is what happened a long time ago. So yeah, we will get further to know what are the other 10 of the worst WWE matches that ruined with a terrible finish.
A bad ending has the ability to ruin just about anything.
Yep.
A movie, a book, not that I've ever read one or will ever read one, kissing a girl on the mouth, maybe one day. Hell, you name it, if it ends in an unsatisfying manner, it has the potential to undo all the good that came before it. WWE matches are very much the same way, as there have been many great ones that, due to dodgy decision making as far as booking is concerned, end up with tarnished legacies. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 great WWE matches ruined by terrible finishes. Join us. Number 10, Shawn Michaels vs. Mankind at In Your House Mind Games. Coming a month after SummerSlam, WWE's Mind Games pay-per-view was, on paper, a throwaway show with little to offer in the way of must-see matches or important angles. It was, however, headlined by world champion Shawn Michaels defending his title against Mankind, a Monster of the Month challenger who didn't have a hope of actually winning but would at least help make it a compelling contest. And what a ruddy-bloody match it was, stuffed full of thrills and spills as both men, who each took great pride in their performance, put it all on the line to turn what could have easily been a forgotten meeting into a genuine match of the year contender. During a year of standout performances from Michaels and Foley, this might have been their very best, the 25-minute match building perfectly to, well, a very disappointing disqualification finish when Vader ran in and attacked the Heartbreak Kid. The post-match scene with The Undertaker was certainly memorable, and the match is still a corker however you look at it, but the lack of a decisive ending really is a shame and is probably a major reason it's not brought up as much as it should be. Number 9, Steve Austin vs. Kurt Angle at SummerSlam 2001. No doubt realizing that the invasion angle was going nowhere fast, with the mid-card geeks representing the WCW-ECW alliance posing little threat to the mighty Federation, the company opted to have Steve Austin jump ship, lending the invaders some much-needed star power. Kurt Angle, fed through and through, was incredulous at the turncoat, and the two men feuded going into SummerSlam, where the Olympic hero sought to bring the world title back home. Their match was an absolute scorcher, full of intensity from the off as they brawled, wrestled, and traded big moves and finishes in a seesaw match that saw Angle get badly busted open. During a frantic closing stretch, Austin attacked referee Earl Hebner, then attacked his replacement Mike Chioda, and then attacked his replacement Tim White. Despite the Texas Rattlesnake disposing of 3 officials in a bid to escape with the gold, Kurt continued to battle and looked to have things sewn up when WCW ref Nick Patrick ran in, feigned like he was going to count, and then called for the DQ. All that just for Angle to beat Austin clean a month later at Unforgiven. Number 8, Triple H vs. Booker T at WrestleMania 19. Everything about the build-up to Triple H and Booker T's World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 19 suggested that the 5-time former WCW champion would be walking away with the belt. A racially charged storyline had fans convinced that Booker, the street-tough underdog who had worked hard for everything he'd ever gotten, overcoming the odds along the way, would prevail over the pampered and protected champ who had been handed everything in his life. I mean, he was literally handed the World Heavyweight title by Eric Bischoff on Raw, lest we forget. While the match wasn't exactly an all-time classic or anything, it was still really, really good, and Booker looked like he was going to pull through after disposing of Ric Flair at ringside and hitting the game with the Harlem Hangover. Well, not quite, but then he went for his patented scissor kick and, oh, hold on a second, he's fallen down and Triple H has hit a pedigree, leaving both of them lying on the canvas. Well, whoever gets to their feet first is surely going to be... Hang on a second, did he just pin Booker with one hand after waiting approximately 6 months to make the cover? Is that the finish? Is it? Well,
And that's the worst finish, because it's like, I would agree if Booker should have won, because let's face it, he was the ultimate underdog, knowing that he was being buried by Triple H in the promo. And it's kind of in a way where, it's about the race thing, but it ended up, became worse when after the pedigree, and it took so long for Triple H to pin the guy. So it's like, ah, yeah, what a great finish.
For one cannot and will not dig that. Sucker! Number 7, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank 2019. The Money in the Bank ladder match is pretty hard to mess up. You take a bunch of talented performers, let them play with ladders, and sit back, relax, and watch the carnage unfold. Well, not exactly relax. I mean, the matches are absolutely terrifying to watch. But the point I'm getting at is that it would actually be a challenge to make one of them uninteresting or actively bad. It is not a challenge, however, to ruin one of them with a universally despised finish. In the main event of Money in the Bank 2019, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Andrade, Ricochet, and Mustafa Ali were competing for the coveted briefcase. Going almost 20 minutes, it was a typically breathless display full of innovative stunts and bumps, and it looked for all the world like Ali was going to emerge as the surprise winner. The actual surprise was Brock Lesnar sauntering out to replace Sami Zayn, who had been taken out of the match via a pre-match attack, pushing the ladder and Ali over and grabbing the briefcase without so much as breaking a sweat. And when you consider just how sweaty Lesnar usually is, that's quite an accomplishment. Number 6, the Elimination Chamber match at SummerSlam 2003. Similar to Money in the Bank, the
Money in the Bank for Ali, he was just, he had the briefcase, but he didn't unhook it immediately. So, yeah, what a great way to end the show.
Elimination Chamber is an inherently exciting match that is difficult to balls up. You know what else is difficult to balls up? Goldberg. And yet, WWE mishandled the man from the off, weakening his aura by having him sell in long competitive matches and do stupid stuff like, letting Goldust put a blonde wig on his head. At SummerSlam 2003, however, the Goldberg of old finally emerged from his pod inside the Elimination Chamber, tearing through the field like the smashing machines fans had embraced so strongly during the Monday Night Wars. In the chamber, which was for Triple H's World Heavyweight title, Goldberg blasted through Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho in a few awe-inspiring minutes, leaving him one-on-one with the Cerebral Assassin. This truly was the moment to pull the trigger and do a title change, but WWE believed it wouldn't be as effective since Hunter was injured and could barely do anything physical, booking a finish that saw the champ counter a spear with a sledgehammer shot to the back of the head instead. When Triple H was moderately healthier a month later at Unforgiven, they booked the switch in a match nowhere near as good or memorable.
It's whoever makes the choice, well, mostly it was Vince. It's like they really appreciated that every SummerSlam, the bigger stars would win, and they will lose the next pay-per-view for their championship. It's like, it wouldn't make any sense because it's like, I saw that match and Goldberg basically just destroyed everyone. By the time he almost, had Triple H, I think Ric Flair slide him with the sledgehammer, and then and that's it. So it's really disappointing that next month they decide, you know what, we will give the championship to Goldberg, which is like, okay. So it's like that, man.
Number 5, Seth Rollins versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2015. At SummerSlam 2015, Seth Rollins and John Cena met in a winner-takes-all match where both the WWE World and United States titles were on the line. A blockbuster match for the so-called biggest party of the summer. There was simply no way that Cena and Rollins weren't going to go all out to steal the show. And true to form, John and Seth, wearing that white gear that Vince McMahon reportedly loathed, put on a clinic that kept fans guessing right up until the finish. Oh yes, the finish. With the referee down, comedian and talk show host and host of SummerSlam, Jon Stewart, came down to the ring. Now, Stewart had been beefing with Rollins as of late, the two men trading barbs back and forth, so the expectation was that the Daily Show man was going to somehow meddle in the architect's affairs. But, shock horror, Stewart turned on Cena and hit him with a chair, paving the way for Rollins to pedigree his way to another title triumph. It was later explained by Stewart in a promo that he did so because he didn't want Cena to surpass Ric Flair's record 16 world titles, but personally, I think the whole thing was a load of absolute...
It's because of how it ended, it was 2015. Regardless, Cena's got the big beat Ty at 2016 and then broke the record. So, yeah, it doesn't matter, to be honest.
Bollocks. Number 4, Shawn Michaels versus Steve Austin at King of the Ring 1997. In the main event of WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels dropped the world title to Steve Austin square in the middle of the ring. It was a true torch-passing moment as HBK went into temporary retirement and Stone Cold went on to become the biggest thing on the goddamn planet. A torch-passing moment, perhaps, but the match itself wasn't all it could have been due to the showstopper's debilitating back injury. Less than a year earlier, at King of the Ring, the two men had a much better professional wrestling match that, nonetheless, was tempered by a duff finish. It was far and away the best thing on a pretty dire show, the two men working a match that started with some tight mat wrestling and kept escalating, heading into a topsy-turvy finishing sequence that saw the ref get bumped. Oh, and then get bumped again when Austin decided to stunner him. Oh, and then another ref came in and Michaels decided to kick him in, because why the hell not? Finally, a third ref ran out and called the whole thing off as a double disqualification. I've got double something for you, whoever booked that finish. Number 3, Eddie Guerrero versus JBL at Judgment Day 2004. With seemingly everyone in the SmackDown main event scene disappearing for one reason or another after WrestleMania 20, WWE Champion Eddie Guerrero was tasked with trying to elevate career mid-card babyface tag teamer Bradshaw, who had been hurriedly rebranded as headline heel John Bradshaw Layfield. It was a tough ask for Latino Heat, who put his title on the line against JBL in the Judgment Day 2004 main event in a sink-or-swim moment for the challenger. Thankfully, Eddie, and to his credit JBL, worked their backsides off that night, putting together a very strong match that carried a genuine sense of drama due to Guerrero's gory blade job and subsequent blood loss. It was gripping stuff seeing Eddie make his comeback while wearing the proverbial crimson mask, at the same time that the sheer amount of claret made it feel like he could realistically lose his championship. In the end, though, WWE went for a cop-out finish to prolong the program to the next pay-per-view, as Guerrero hits JBL with the WWE title belt, drawing the DQ. The post-match scenes were meant to make up for a lack of decisive conclusion, but such an epic encounter really did deserve one. Number 2, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at Extreme Rules 2012. 8 years after walking out of WWE and having since conquered the world of mixed martial arts, Brock Lesnar walked back into the company with a rep as one of the baddest men on the planet. The former UFC heavyweight champion immediately targeted one of the men who had stepped up in his absence, John Cena, setting up a titanic tussle at Extreme Rules 2012. The build had been intense, and that intensity carried over into the match, fought with an Extreme Rules stipulation, with Lesnar just brutalizing Cena from the get-go, a theme that continued as the painful match went on. Brock was utterly dominant here, very much possessing the aura of a man who had spent the past several years fighting for real in cages. So what a return it was shaping up to be for the next big thing, who would surely collect Big Match John's scalp and lay down a marker on his first night back in a WWE ring. Surely Lesnar was going to pick up the decisive W here. Well, Brock may have gotten the better of Frank Mir, Randy Couture, and Heath Herring in the octagon, but he was no match for Prime Super Cena, who hit Lesnar with a chain followed by an AA to inexplicably walk away with his hand raised. Number 1.
And to be honest, this is the beginning. Well, after the match, it was the beginning of Cena's downfall after he lost to The Rock. So it wouldn't make sense for him to lose while Brock came back. So I guess this is basically punishment for Brock because he just left WWE at the time. So maybe this could be the only match that can be punished from him. And yeah, but it's like I would at least book the match in terms of Brock winning so that we could have the Cena, struggle, or the adversity for him to struggle for a bit and then make him win the next year. So it's how it is, man.
1. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39. As WrestleMania 39 approached, Roman Reigns had been undisputed WWE Universal Champion for approximately 3 decades. The Tribal Chief's time on top had been long, and it finally finally felt as though in Cody Rhodes there was a man who could end Roman's reign. The American Nightmare was super over as a babyface, he had won the Rumble and seemed to have serious momentum heading into the Showcase of the Immortals. The match, which headlined Night 2 of festivities, lived up to the hype and felt like a big-time WrestleMania epic for the ages, and all it needed was the right finish to make it an all-timer. Spoiler alert, it did not have the right finish. Now, you can argue the merits of either man going over on the night, but most would agree it was Cody's turn to go over. It felt like it was going that way too, as the match built to a crescendo following interference from the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, when things were decided by sneaky Solo Sikoa and his Samoan Spike. Suffering.
Now, here's the thing, because it led to that sequence for 40, which has the better ending. And yeah, I think at the time there were a lot of people saying, oh, Roman and Paul Heyman didn't like the decision that Vince wanted Cody to beat Roman at WrestleMania 39. So it's just like that, you know. And yeah, and that's all for the video, guys. So overall, yes, it's basically the old era to before Vince stepped down as the let's say chairman, or the one who's controlling all the booking decisions. So overall, it had to be at one of those best matches or great matches that with the worst finish, because that's how Vince books, you know, in terms of their ways. And yeah, overall, yes, there's still a lot, but you know, can't be in the list. Some of them could be in the honorable mention. But overall, this is a great video, so all I can say is that, guys, thank you for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Peace.